Hey, we're going to use a very powerful combination using Ancestry.com and FamilySearch.org together. I'm telling you, when you use these two together, you will find more records, more ancestors, more answers to your research questions. We're going to talk about all of that here in just a moment, but hey, let me introduce myself. My name is Connie Knox. I am a lifelong genealogist here to help you go further, faster, and factually with your family history research. Now, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so that you get notified each time I upload a video. There is a newsletter, a Facebook page, and a website. Links for all of that are in the show notes below. Hey, there is a handout for this episode. We'll talk more about that at the end of the show as how you can get those handouts. All right, now, there's one more thing I wanted to tell you, and that is that even if you are not an Ancestry subscriber, I encourage you to watch because there are a lot of free tools in Ancestry that you can use that might help you with this strategy. You know, it's all about the strategy. And I'm telling you, this works. I use it all the time, every day. It's a powerful tool. So let's jump into it right now. So here's something you can do if you wanted to. You could put like Family Search on one side of your screen, and you could put Ancestry on the other side of your screen. And if you have two screens, it's even better because then you can separate these across two different screens. But you could actually be doing research on both frames at the same time. Now, you know, if you did have this in one like this, all you would need to do is just, you know, cut this down, break it apart, and move it over. Alternatively, you could also, if you are on a single screen, you can move this over until you see this gray highlighted area, let go, and then it gives you all of the other things that you have going on. You could bring it up. And so anyway, working on two screens is helpful. I want to show you what you can do with census records available both on Family Search and on Ancestry, but if you're having trouble reading it, check this out. Okay, the other day I was working with a student and we were working on this census record, which was really hard to read. I mean, you can get in there and it was just really challenging, especially when we started getting into some of these other details. And so what I did was I said, well, hold on a minute. Let's go look on Family Search. This is the film on Ancestry. Maybe it is a little bit easier to see on Family Search. So the first thing we did was we popped this open and we could see the transcript, Manette Love. Now, you want to also pay attention that this is the 1920 census for Illinois, Cook County. Okay. And so we're looking for Manette Love, 1920 Illinois, Cook County. So we jump over to Family Search, and this is the way I do it. I will leave this in the handout as to the process that I do. So I go to the research wiki. This is typically how I drill in. This is just my favorite way of doing things. So I go into North America. I hit United States. I drop down to Illinois. I come over to the right-hand side here where it says Census because I'm trying to find that same census record on Family Search. So as you can see the 1920, and the cool part about Family Search is it shows you, you know, I mean, it'll take you to hyperlinks specific for that census record. So let me click on Family Search. So I'm going to type Manette Love, and she was born in 1894. So let's put 1894 in here and hit go and see what we get. And there she is at Cook County. Okay, so now here on Family Search, we can see there is an image here and there's also record details. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the image. And as I scroll in, we can see that it is more clearly readable, but we've also got another set of tools where we can adjust the image and we can crank up the contrast. We can drop down the brightness, and now we can see this quite a bit better than this image over here on Ancestry. Now, I've had this work in both ways, so don't think Ancestry has necessarily got poor images. Whatever the situation is, in this case, this image was adjustable to where we could see it. Now, on Ancestry, you can adjust the images a little bit. Let me close this window. You can hit the tool icon and invert the colors to see if it's any more readable, but in this case, not really. Long story short, if it's not working for you on one service, try the other. Okay, as you probably already know, you can find vital records on both services, but let me show you this. Okay, so I've got Ancestry on one side and FamilySearch on the other. Now, we're talking about vital records, so this is birth, marriage, and death records. At Ancestry, you can get there very easily by going search and then drop down to birth, marriage, and death records. Not quite so easy on FamilySearch. You have to go into the records. I'm going to go through that process here in a minute, but let me show you something first. So let's go over here to birth, marriage, and death records. I'm going to maximize this so that you can see it better here on Ancestry. All right, so I am looking for my ancestor. His name is William McFarland Smith. Okay, I'm going to let the auto-populate fill in all the details, and I'm going to hit search. Now I'm looking for a death record, by the way. Now, one of the things that you can do is you can search by category. So by flipping categories on, you can search by category this way. I'm going to leave this turned off for the moment. I just wanted to point that out. So now what I'm going to do, because I'm looking for a death record, I'm going to drop down and I'm going to click on death records so that I have filtered this a little bit more. Now, my guy is popping up right at the top because the autofill also picked up, you know, his mother and stuff. So here is his record. Okay, so let's drill into that. And I can see from here that we get some information, William Smith, the death date, which is correct. This is my ancestor up here. And so I know this to be him. His mother is Melissa Smith. This information is coming from my tree. And there it is. But look at here. FHL film number means it's a family history library film number, which means it's a FamilySearch film number. This is all I have on Ancestry. Now it is suggesting a will and some other information, but I do not have an image here. I would love to have this death certificate. Let's go see if we can find it on FamilySearch. Now, knowing that FamilySearch is big into vital records, I wanted to come look over here to make sure that, you know, maybe the image is there. So you go to search, go to records, and they're slowly changing their views. So hopefully this is the same as what you are experiencing on FamilySearch at the time you're watching this. But instead of filling this out, I'm going to go straight to this. I just found this to be faster. Go browse all collections, and I'm going to drop down. Here's that birth, marriage, and death field down here on the left-hand navigation column. So I'm clicking on that. Then I'm going to also filter to the United States. In this case, it was West Virginia, so I'm going to pick West Virginia. And I can see there are two records here with death records in them. When I did a search on this record set, all I had to do is fill in the names and did a search. I had no luck, so saving you time. I'm going to jump over to this other record set, the West Virginia 1804 to 1999. William McFarland Smith. I probably don't even need to fill in that much information. So we're going to go and we're going to switch this to a death field. We're going to say West Virginia 1923. I'm going to hit search. Scrolling down a little bit, I see here William Smith with Melissa Smith, and I see that he is in the world tree. And there is an image for this, and there is some detail. So let's look at that image. And bingo, there's the death certificate that I was looking for. So this is another example of if you can't find it on one service, you might find it on the other. This is William M. Smith. It's got an E on the end, it looks like. But this is him. And so if you look really close up here, it says to save this image to your computer, right-click and save the image as. So you get the idea. So we can then save this image and put it in our genealogy files. There's another example of if you're not finding it on one service, go look in the other. You may not realize this, but search engines work differently on every platform. They're proprietary to each platform. And so when you do searches, they may be a little different. Check this out. Okay, so I want to show you an example of searching on both FamilySearch and Ancestry because the search engines are so different. You're going to get a lot of different results. And this may also help you find new records that you hadn't noticed before. So we're going to do this with an ancestor. This is my 2x great-grandfather, Hilkiah K. Winslow. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the years, the birth year and the death year. We're going to use the state. And on the death, we're going to use the county of Cleveland. That is all we're going to use. We're going to do the same search on both search engines. So popping over to the search, what I did was I came to search, all collections, you get this screen. As I start to type, he pops up. I'm going to autofill that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove some of this information to make it fair on both systems. So I'm going to get rid of this marriage information. I'm going to get rid of Shelby, and I'm going to leave the rest as we had stated before. I'm going to delete this out, delete all of this. Sometimes when you search, by the way, I'm going to get rid of all these other family members. I'm deleting, by the way. I'm just hitting the X. When you autofill, sometimes too much information won't get you the results you need. So we've got the year, the locations, and we're going to hit search. And as you can see, he's found in a family tree, but he's also, this search has garnered 3,376 records. Okay. And we haven't changed the sliders. We haven't done anything. Now let's jump over to FamilySearch. Now at FamilySearch, again, I went to search, I said all records, and it takes me to this screen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on more options because there's not enough in this field to show me all the same details. So I'm going to type Hilkiah Winslow, and we're going to add a birthplace of North Carolina, USA. He was born in 1831, and we're going to add a death field, and he died in Cleveland County, North Carolina, and the death year was 1876. All right, so that's the same information we had on the other search screen. We're going to hit search. Immediately, we get some of his records popping up, and in this case, there's only 209 results. So you could go and do advanced search and do other stuff, but my point being is there is a large difference between the results we get on Ancestry and FamilySearch. You should be looking in both places. Plus, they don't have the same records. Some of them overlap and some of them don't. You may not know this, but the card catalogs, on FamilySearch and on Ancestry are very different. And their whole layout is completely different. Let me show you. Card catalog on Ancestry and the card catalog on FamilySearch look very different. They work differently. They will give you different results. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do two different things. We're going to do a keyword research and a title search. Again, we're going to do title and keyword. So let's first look for a book. Now, I have ancestors in Randolph County, North Carolina. I know there is a book there called The Reminiscences of Randolph County. I would like to look at this book and kind of dig into it again. It's been a while since I looked at it, and I want to see if it's online. And so I'm going to do a search here on the card catalog. This is the entire database, 33,000 sets of records, books, everything they have. We're just right from the root. And by the way, I got there by going search card catalog. Okay. So we're going to do a title search for Reminiscences of Randolph County. I hit search. Now, because I knew exactly what that title was, it found it. And there it is. Okay, so from here, we have the ability to search the contents of this book, but it also has the table of contents, which is kind of cool. You can jump straight to the front matter if you want, or the back matter, which are two of my favorite places to go. I'm going to search my ancestor. His last name was Henley. Let's just see if anything pops up. Nope. So guess what? I know why. Because in this book, it was not spelled with an E. So let's see what else we come up with. Yep. There are several instances of John Henley, who was my ancestor, one of the early settlers in the area, and was one of the people that was instrumental in starting Asheboro, North Carolina. So good information there. Okay, so jumping back over to FamilySearch now, let's do the same search using Reminiscences of Randolph County and do a search for the title there. And we're going to plug that in and hit search. All right, we come up with 6 results this time. And there's the book right there, okay? So we're getting the same book, at least in the list, but some of the other results, kind of catch my eye. I might want to just go take a peek at this one because the people that are in this book are from Randolph County, North Carolina. They were Quakers, and they were migrating back and forth to Indiana. And so this just kind of caught my eye. I don't know if it is has anything to do with, the same group. But again, more results gives me more opportunity to find things. Let me take a look at this book and see if it is available for us to look at. To view this digital version of this item, click here. Okay, so here on Family Search, and you can see it's populated us under the books. View all 59 pages. Good to know. But we can flip through the pages. There is a search function here. Let's go Henley and say okay. Aha, so it is searchable. Using the search window, you just got to come down here and find this little search button. So both of these books were found in both places, but on Family Search, we did find some other opportunities based on the title of the book. This kind of just proves my point that even though it's a title search, the search engines are working differently between the two platforms. So back on Ancestry in the card catalog, instead of doing a title search this time, we're going to do a keyword research. I had an ancestor I was researching over the weekend who died during the Civil War. And so I was looking for Civil War Confederate casualty records. And so let's do a search to see what we find. All right, we have one record set with those keywords, okay? And we could mix and match those keywords around and maybe find different things. But for this example, I'm going to use the exact same keywords in both places. So I've got a record set here I could look at. U.S. Confederate Army casualty lists and reports 1861 to 1865. It's a very promising looking set of records, and it has 74,000 records. And by the way, Ancestry defines records as a person in a record. So every person that shows up in a record set is considered a record. Okay, let's go over to Family Search. So over here, we're going to do keyword search. We have to click on keywords, and I'm going to put the exact same keywords in there and say search. And here we have 20 results, whereas on Ancestry we had 1. Again, this is not, this is one set of records. This is not a comparison between the two as far as who has more records. I'm just showing you that you're going to get different results. And so there may be some good stuff here to dig into. And you can see that I had looked at some of these records earlier. And so this actually kind of prompted me to do this video, because as I was bing-banging back and forth between Ancestry and Family Search, I was finding very different results and very different records in some cases. So it just seemed to make sense to help you go further, faster, and factually with your family history research by telling you about this. So that is just 2 examples of doing the same title search and the same keyword search on both platforms with very different results. Now, I did promise to show you some free stuff over at Ancestry. So I signed out just to prove that you do not have to have an account here to do this search. So this is the free index. I will leave this link in the description box below the video. And I just want to show you, if you scroll down, you can see a very long list of records that are available for free to search, at least. So you can actually do a fair amount of research right here. So I plugged in an ancestor's name. All I did was put his name in and his birth location, and I hit search. And I get a lot of information right here. It doesn't necessarily mean that it is perfect, but I do see that his name is popping up with some potential information here. If we just grab one of these records to go take a look, we can see things like there's more to see. A picture of the original document. So register for a free account. So when you're pulling up things like census records, you would have to have at least a free registered account. Census records are always free to look at, as well as many other records in the set. As you can see from this very long list, you can search records to see if your ancestor shows up in any of these records. All right, now when you use Ancestry and Family Search together, wow, what a powerful combination. You're going to get different search results. You're going to have different card catalogs. You're going to have different records in some cases, different family trees, different members. I mean, there's just a lot of things that you can do when you use both at the same time. I have them both open all the time. I'm often checking other platforms, MyHeritage, WikiTree. I mean, I'm checking them all, to see if there are some other records or other ancestors that are popping up. Now, of course, everything needs to be verified, but, there you go. Coming up next is some information about the handouts, and then there will be a screen for more videos for you to watch. So we'll catch you in the next video. There are 3 ways you can get the handouts. Now, the first way is to join the channel membership here at the information access level channel membership on the YouTube channel, and then go to the community tab and you'll find the posts that have the handout links in there. All you have to do is follow the link and download the handouts. Okay, now the second way is over at Patreon. Now at Patreon, if you're at the Happy Dance level or higher, you can get the handouts. Those come directly to you in an email every time we announce the new video that has a handout with it. You'll also get early release with that membership. All right, and then the third way is just to go over to genealogytv.org and click on the handouts tab, and you can find all the handouts there for individual purchase. So I hope that was helpful. The handouts really do support the channel, and for that I thank you.